I'm not trying to say it like that, but what it sounds like is they're born, that people that are mutants are born with extra chromosomes. So does that mean that they retarded? Yo, what it do, YouTube? I'm not one to waste time, so I'm gonna get straight into it. Today, about to reacting to why it sucks being born as a mutant. Now, if you don't know what a mutant is basically a superhuman creature that is born with powers. It's you can't pick the power. They're just born with it. They're just gifted. Let's get into it. I think it'd be great to be born as a mutant. But hey.
First time, and here we are. You open your eyes for the very first time, and here we are. You don't know it yet, but you've just been born a mutant. You look normal now, but boy, just you wait. At first, everything seems fine. You grow up in a regular neighborhood with regular parents, living a regular life. Sure, sometimes there's a Galactus attack or half the population turns to dust, but there's people that deal with that kind of stuff. But once you hit puberty, you start to notice some changes. And not the ones you're thinking of. You wake up
What do you mean by that? Like
fever, and your parents brush it off as a cold and let you stay home from school. But over the course of a couple days, it only gets hotter and hotter, until one night you wake up at 3 a.m. with your bed sheets on fire. You jump out of bed quickly and stomp on the sheets to put out the flames. Phew! That was close. Crisis averted. You look down at your hands and see what looks like tiny flames shrinking and disappearing. Weird. But then, uh-oh, the walls blacken, the smoke detector blares, and your parents rush in to find you standing there in the middle of it all. Welcome to mutant puberty. At first, your parents try to convince themselves it's all just some freak accident. Maybe the wife...
Ah, man, I feel like, me personally, I would love to be born superpowers, bro. Because I wouldn't have to be average or just how I am right now. That's how I see it, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Your room was faulty. Maybe they left a candle burning somewhere. But then it happens again and again. Until finally they have to face the truth. Their child isn't normal. Unfortunately, in this world, that comes with a lot of prejudice and fear. So from that point on, your parents start treating you differently. Their hugs become a little more hesitant, and they start to sit further away from you at the breakfast table. You overhear quiet conversations at night, with your mother crying and your father talking about what to do, like you're some sort of problem to be solved. For them, it's only a matter of time before the neighbors find out.
Nah, imagine a kid going through that shit, though. That's actually kind of fucked, bro.
And they do. Your family stops getting invited to barbecues, the neighborhood kids don't come over to play anymore, and the next thing you know, your dad's lost his job because somehow the whole town found out he has a mutant in his house. You see, this world is full of superpowered people, but for some reason, everybody hates mutants. Mutants are humans who are born with what's known as the X gene. The same way certain genes will determine your height or hair color, the X gene causes you to have superpowers, completely naturally. Meaning, unlike Spider-Man or Captain America, you don't need any kind of serum or genetic modification to get your powers. You're just born with them.
I'm not trying to say it like that, but what it sounds like is that people that are mutants are born with extra chromosomes. So does that mean that they're retarded? I'm not trying to say it like that, but that's a genuine question. Because typically, if you have 47 chromosomes out of 46, then you're retarded. Hey.
Don't ask me why it's different, but the people here love Spider-Man. And they hate mutants, seeing it as wrong and unnatural. The power you develop is different from person to person and depends on the rest of your genetics. It typically shows itself around puberty or can be activated through immense stress and trauma. Some mutants are latent and may never develop powers throughout their entire lifetime, but that's definitely not you. You're now part of the most hated minority on Earth. Your parents still love you, but...
So they black and retarded. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
Both for you and of you. One day, the wrong person finds out about you, and an angry mob shows up in the middle of the night. They shout words like monster and abomination as they surround your house. They throw things through the window and try to break in through the front door. But just as they manage to get it open, they completely freeze. A bald man in a well-pressed suit wheels his way through the crowd. That's Professor Charles Xavier, or Professor X. You've seen him on TV before, talking about mutant rights. He puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "Come with me." there's a place for you. Your parents didn't take much convincing, and just like that, you leave everything behind. Xavier
That's
tells
so
you that you're
fucked up, bro.
special and takes you to a school for kids like you. When you arrive, it's a massive sprawl.
Time out. I'm about to grab this. It's weird. Imagine getting sent to a motherfucking border school just for being your damn self. That's some fucked up shit right there, bro. I'm gonna be right back. Basically, motherfuckers getting sent to border school just for being themselves.
Mansion in the middle of nowhere with half of it under construction. It turns out that because of all the supervillain attacks, these facilities are almost constantly being rebuilt. Apart from that, it looks like something out of a fairy tale. But as you walk through those front gates, you realize something. This place isn't a school, it's a fortress. They've got security technology that doesn't even exist yet. Like, literally. It's from the future. Thanks, Cable. Kids your age wander the halls. Some look just like you, and others look a little less like you. A girl phases through a wall, completely ignoring doors. A boy with blue skin and fangs swings across the rafters. A set of twins sit in the corner, conversing without speaking a single word out loud. This place is full of all the freaks and outcasts every other human seems to be scared of. You're assigned a room and meet your new roommates. A guy with gills on his neck, and another one who's completely invisible. Awesome. You've made it to Xavier's School of Gifted Youngsters. Congratulations, you're officially a part of the most dysfunctional boarding school in existence. Sure, it's got state-of-the-art facilities, but they tend to get blown up every other week. And don't even think about complaining about your living conditions, because unlike a normal school, here you'll be expected to help with the constant rebuilding. It doesn't matter that your mutation is fire-based. Grab a hammer. Not every kid has laser eyes or telekinesis, so if you can't fly or fix things with your mind, well, better start learning how to mix cement. At most schools, gym class means running a few laps or playing dodgeball. But here, you get thrown into a high-tech combat simulator built by aliens. The danger room is where you'll learn to control your powers. Which really means you'll be fighting holograms of killer robots, sentinels, or if you're really lucky, a simulated version of Apocalypse himself. And there's no sitting this one out. Even if your power is something useless, like can slightly glow in the dark, you're going in. Your instructors are legendary battle-hardened X-Men. Wolverine.
So let's say they do get some weak ass shit, like they just gotta tell just because. They gotta go fight that nigga. What happened if they die? Do their parents not care?
Cyclops, and
See, I was into X-Men when I was younger, like younger. Over the years, I slowly grew out of it. 'Cause I don't even know what the fuck it's about anymore. Hey, let me know down in the comments, because that's kind of
really unlucky Emma Frost, who will personally roast you if you mess up. And she will know when you mess up. She's literally reading your thoughts. But hey, at least you're learning valuable skills. Like how to throw a punch or how to avoid getting folded in half by an 8-foot Red Hulk. You're not training for some after-school club. You're training for survival. Because at Xavier's, you're not just a student. You're a soldier. Technically, Xavier's is a school. But good luck focusing on algebra when the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is attacking the front lawn.
Man, I'd be damned if they had me doing motherfucking parabolas and all this extra shit, knowing that I gotta go. Fuck out of here, bro.
The usual subjects, math, English, science, but there's a...
Last time pausing. What happened if you fail the classes? Can you not fight? Genuinely, I might actually go back and watch this shit just to know what happened when a motherfucker failed a class. They gonna get kicked out. The fuck they gonna go?
Every class is centered around mutant survival. Biology, hope you like learning about mutant genetics instead of frog dissections. History, it's 90% lessons about mutant history. And forget about skipping self-defense training, because that's not an elective. You will learn how to fight, because one day, you need it. Oh, and let's not forget about the med lab internship. Every student is required to put in 72 hours working in the school's medical bay, because, let's face it, injuries here are inevitable. Whether it's a training accident or an actual supervillain attack, you'll be patching up classmates like a paramedic before you even graduate. And you think human roommates are bad? Try sharing a room with someone who sleepwalks through the walls, or a guy who has to sleep in a water tank. If your mutation involves anything dangerous, expect to be put in a room with reinforced walls. And seeing you
See, now I'm getting locked up like a prisoner for being myself. That shit actually suck.
high powers, that's definitely you, buddy. Some mutants get along, but others not so much. There are kids here who can read minds. Some shapeshift, some turn invisible, you name it. And some of them are way too comfortable using these powers for pranks. Ever had your mattress phase through the floor in the middle of the night? You will. There's no reassignments either. Xavier believes in learning to get along, which means if your roommate steals your stuff while invisible, that's something you have to work out. Good luck. Let's get one thing straight. Xavier's is not a safe place. Sure, it's a school, but it also happens to be a magnet for every mutant-hating group on the planet. The Sentinels have attacked here more times than anyone can count. Villains like Juggernaut, Sabretooth, and the entire brotherhood of evil mutants have all paid the school multiple visits.
Wow.
And when they do, you're expected to fight. Even if you survive the villains, there's still the less than occasional world-ending crisis. Some days you wake up to find out that reality itself has been rewritten, or that the universe is collapsing. And no, you never get a heads up. Over time, eventually, you realize something. You're being groomed for a war. At first, you believed in Professor Xavier's dream, a world where mutants and humans could coexist. But now, you're not so sure. You're starting to notice things, like how no matter how much the X-Men fight for peace, humans still hate mutants. Every time they save the world, they get blamed for the destruction. Every time they save people, they're called monsters. It's never enough. You've seen your friends get injured, some even die, all for a world that doesn't want them. Magneto, the head of the Brotherhood of Mutants, has always said that mutants don't have to suffer or beg for acceptance. He says mutants should rule, and you're kind of starting to listen. You start asking around, and some of the older students tell you about a meeting place. One night, you sneak out of the mansion and find yourself in an abandoned warehouse, face to face with the Brotherhood of Mutants. They talk about taking power instead of waiting for humans to give it to them. They tell you that Xavier's dream is a fantasy and remind you that humans...
Okay, I'm getting it now. So this is where the conflict between the two came in at. He wants the boy nigga in the wheelchair, he wants to program and groom the children to live for the Americans that hate them, versus Magneto, which is the nigga with the helmet. He basically wants to free and libertalize, whatever, if it's even a word, libertalize all mutants, you know what I'm saying? Equal rights.
Never accept you. And deep down, you already know they're right. For the first time in your life, you feel like you have a choice. And when Magneto himself steps forward, offering his hand, you take it. You pack your stuff and leave the mansion in the middle of the night. You join the Brotherhood of Mutants, and now you're standing shoulder to shoulder with people who don't beg for acceptance. They take it. No more worrying about whether humans approve of you, trying to control your powers to make yourself less threatening. Forget about all that stuff Xavier told you. With the Brotherhood, you're encouraged to be as powerful as you can be. Magneto tells you that the world belongs to mutants, that it's only a matter of time before you're the ones in control. The Brotherhood sends you on your first mission, destroying a laboratory that's trying to enhance humans. When you get there, you hesitate for maybe half a second, but then you let loose, burning the whole place to the ground. You were always told to be careful with your flames and to control them, but not here. Here, they tell you to burn. Next, you torch an entire convoy carrying mutant prisoners. Then you turn an anti-mutant rally in...
Honestly, bro. Fuck. Damn.
firestorm. With every battle, every mission, the guilt fades. And when the X-Men finally show up to stop you, you don't fear, you smile. Because for the first time, you're winning. Over the years, you rise in the Brotherhood's ranks to become a warrior and a leader. Someone who's respected, and more than that, someone who's feared. But then you start to notice something you've never really questioned before. The Brotherhood talks about protecting mutants, but what they're really doing isn't protection, it's conquest. One night, you and the Brotherhood attack Xavier's school. Some of your old classmates are now X-Men, and they try to stop you. Nothing new, really. Your old roommate with the gills catches you burning the entire east side of the mansion and runs at you. You want to stop him, but if you point your blast at him, it would surely kill him. So you leave your hands where they are for a moment and let him hit you. Then as you start to fight back, a blade goes through his chest. He's stabbed from behind by another mutant in the Brotherhood who has knives that come out of his fists. His body drops to the floor and you retreat with the rest of the Brotherhood. But something's different now. These people are no longer your friends. When you get back to base, Magneto himself pulls you aside and says,
It's time.
he has a secret weapon, a disease that only affects humans and not mutants, and he plans to unleash it tomorrow. Magneto's forces descend on Washington, D.C., and you're right there with them. It's a massacre. Your flames turn the night sky orange as the city burns around you. You see terrified civilians running, then the X-Men show up. The rest of your old classmates, the ones you used to spar with in the danger room and helped you control your powers when you thought you'd never get the hang of it. They're looking at you like a monster, and after all these years, you realize they're right. You're on the wrong side. Killing all these humans isn't what you signed up for. This is a war, and you're helping the wrong people win it. You turn against the Brotherhood, and you unleash everything. Your flames turn against them, cutting a path through the battlefield. Magneto realizes what you've done and doesn't hesitate. You feel your body snap as metal crushes you from all sides. The pain is unbearable, but you don't stop fighting. With one last breath, you make sure the X-Men get the upper hand. You reach out and burn the case carrying the virus, buying the X-Men just enough time to end the battle. And as your vision fades and your body collapses in the ruins of the city, you hear your old friends calling your name. You don't live to see the end of the war, but people remember your last stand. You may have lost your way, but in the end, you made the right choice.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a crazy plot of events. I actually might go rewatch X-Men, the whole series, just to get an understanding of what's going on. Because that seemed like it's actually something that happened in the show. But I fucks with it. But let me know what y'all think down below. Does it really suck to be a mutant? Because honestly, I think it does. Just because the simple fact that you're brainwashed from birth to do what the people tell you to do, and if you don't, then it's fuck you. You see how Magneto just tried to kill a nigga with the fire? I'm gonna actually go tap in. It's been a minute, but it looked like something I want to watch. But nah, hope y'all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe in case you niggas in the next one. Yes, sir.